Now this is how a rivalry should be done. We've seen this from other manga rivalries be done before. But the way this was handled put a smile on my face, and I'm saying, this is how two people that square off and are rivals should be. How they should act once their fighting is done. Bakugo and Izuku's little sparring match concludes. And from what it appears, Bakugo, he won. He won the fight. But in spirit, he did not. And that is such a great way to look at this chapter. Even though Bakugo won, he still didn't completely win. And the same can be said for Izuku as well. And I truly appreciate that, because one of the big things about rivals, okay, is to inspire the other to continue pressing forward and better themselves in any way. Not just in physical strength, but mentally as well. Just to progress their character. That's how rivals should be written in a series. Not just in shonen, but any series. That's just how they should be. They help each other grow. Even if they're one's a villain and one's a good guy, like a hero, they should, if they're rivals, inspire each other to grow and become stronger, mentally stronger, physically stronger, and just become a better person, maybe a better villain or a better, hero, just whatever it is. Just rivals should, progress each other. And the way this, fighting was done, it progressed these two characters to a point to where, like, holy crap, like, this is amazing stuff what I'm seeing right here. I mean, Bakugo and Izuku have finally laid all their emotions on the table. They know now how each other feels about each other. They now know about the truth of how Izuku got his power. Bakugo knows this now. He knows why Izuku has a quirk and why All Might, gave him this ability, why he allowed Izuku to be this strong. But also on top of that, Bakugo realizes what he's lacking, and Izuku knows what he's lacking as well. They're both confronting these problems they have with their own self. It's not these two going after each other. They're realizing what they're lacking, what they do not have. From what we've all been looking at when it comes to this fight, we've all been assuming it's mainly Bakugo getting this development throughout this, little rivalry match, but it's not just him. Izuku has been getting it as well. It was demonstrated in this chapter that he lacks brute strength. He lacks strength and also to be able to win constantly. While Izuku, what he's not lacking is spirit. He's able to rescue people and constantly overcome different challenges before him when it needs to be done. And so there's certain things these characters are lacking. Bakugo realized he doesn't have Izuku's spirit. He fears that, but he does have a lot of strength. And this is a great way to show these two's rivalry. I mean, when you think about how rivals are normally done, especially in shonen, you think of, like, the main character, and then you have the support character, or the second main character, that tends to either A, be weaker than the main character, or stronger than the main character, and the main character has to either try to fight his way up to beat his rival and get stronger than him physically, or the support character, for instance, or the second main character, he's underneath the main character trying to just pull him off that pedestal, and so the main character constantly has to try to better himself and get stronger. That's typically how the rivalries are done in shonen, and this is completely different from that. These characters, they don't just have physical strength, they're lacking in different areas. One lacks in strength, one lacks in spirit. And that's the best way to go about this. Horikoshi did a great job with setting up these two characters because it's been foreshadowed and hinted at for a very long time. Even with this chapter, there was a flashback to Izuku's character, a certain trait of his character, to where he actually lets his, victory get ahead of him. For instance, he wants to beat Bakugo so bad, he will say things that is just foolish and just dumb to say, and he really hates that part of himself, but every time he sees Bakugo, that is victory in his eyes. It's kind of like this. The finish line, when you're completing a race, that is what Bakugo is for Izuku. When Izuku can finally overcome Bakugo, be stronger than him, and win against him, that is when Izuku has achieved victory. That's what he assumes victory is for himself, to be able to surpass Bakugo. Bakugo, he fears Izuku. He fears him because this is someone that has so much spirit, even though he is weaker than himself, and he knows that Izuku is weaker. Somehow he constantly defies all odds and continues to just crawl at him and just try to pull him off that pedestal. He fears that, and he's like, what the fuck is this? And so these characters are realizing what is wrong with them, what's wrong with them mentally, not just physically, but mentally. And that is a great way to write a chapter, a perfect chapter to finish the year off of Boku no Hero Academia. I mean, this is a great chapter to say this is the final chapter of 2016. Definitely one of the best ways to end this year off for a manga series. And I have to say, this is probably one of the best chapters of Boku no Hero Academia in general, but also this year, because it's just such a good chapter. So All Might, he talks to Bakugo, and he's like, I've always looked at it like you have so much strength. You do. You have a lot of strength, Bakugo, but at the end of the day, you are a child. You are a young man. And I let that, just not cross my mind at all. And I put so much burden on you. I'm sorry. And All Might realizes what he's been doing wrong. And one of the big things that All Might's confronted is that he's not the best teacher. He's not. He's not the best teacher at all. And he's trying to work this out and become a better teacher. Because, I mean, that's one of the big things he needs to do now. I mean, he can't really go out there and be a hero, try to stop villains and stuff, and, stop someone like Shigaraki. He just isn't capable of that anymore. He just cannot do that. And so the big thing he needs to do now is teach the next generation, let them know what they need to do and what they're wrong in, and that's what All Might's doing. And he's like, I placed so much burden on you, Bakugo, it's my bad, I shouldn't have done that. I thought since you're just so strong, you're such a high level of a person, that I wouldn't need to, and I was wrong. I just, wasn't looking at you as a young man, a young child, and I was thinking you could do everything like an adult. And I like how All Might realizes where he was wrong with the way he was teaching Bakugo, and he's gonna try, a lot harder to be better than what he's been doing. He's not just gonna be focusing on Izuku as a teacher, he's also gonna be helping out Bakugo and him progress as a character as well. So some good stuff going on there with All Might and Bakugo, and then Bakugo saying, I'll keep your secret. Don't worry. I will not say anything. Your secret is safe with me. And that is awesome, because as rivals, to see this and where they can come to a mutual understanding, hey, I know your secret. I'm not going to say shit about it. That's nice. That's really nice to know. And I mean, now that Bakugo has said something like this, how he'll keep the secret, it shows that he's kind of respecting Izuku. He's not just looking down on him. He actually is starting to respect him. He understands now, and since they both relayed their feelings to each other, he knows what's really happening here. So, just a great chapter. Just a solid chapter of Boku no Hero Academia. A great way to have two rivals in a series. Just have their conflicts thrown onto the table and they have to settle it. That's what this chapter was about, and this little mini arc that was going on. Oh yeah, one last thing before I end this video. There is one big thing. I need to talk about the popularity poll. I'm not going to focus too much time on this because it's not relatively that important. I just want to say that when it comes to the color page of the popularity poll, the way the characters are drawn, fucking Horikoshi, damn, you fucking, that's some beautiful stuff. But on top of that though, just the character designs for the top 10, big fan of those character designs. The Bakugo character design, what the fuck, yo, can I just say real quick that Bakugo character design, I know it's a reference to something, and many were saying on Twitter that it was a reference to Uvo from Hunter x Hunter, the Phantom Trope. That's what his design looked like it was a reference to, but I don't think it is, because I looked at, Uvo from, Hunter x Hunter, I looked at his design, and I looked at Bakugo's. They're completely different. They're completely different. They do not look similar at all in terms of the attire. The attire is a reference to something, because I have seen that necklace somewhere. I have definitely seen that necklace that Bakugo has on him in that color page somewhere. I don't know where, but I have definitely seen it. And then on top of that, All Might, he is cosplaying Guts. Straight up, that man is cosplaying Guts. If you did not notice it, look at All Might's sword he has on his back in that color page. He's actually wielding Guts' sword. He's wielding the Dragon Slayer. You see the chain. If you look at the blade, you see how it's all chipped and stuff. That just shows like it's a hunk of metal. Guts constantly slinging around, killing demons. That's a straight up reference to Berserk. So, Horikoshi, good man for that one. I just did not think you would reference Berserk of all things, especially with All Might. Now, the other characters, I really don't know. Some of the designs of the characters, I feel like I have seen before. I just don't know the reference of them. But, I mean, For All Might to have a, Berserk reference, I'm assuming all the character designs that were shown in the popularity poll for the top 10 are probably a reference to some type of fantasy series. I mean, I know I have seen Bakugo's design somewhere, I just do not know what it's from. I don't know if it's from an anime, a manga I've read, or some type of game. I don't have any idea. And I do know that the All Might stuff is definitely a reference to Berserk, so I have no idea what the others are from. But I'm going to pretty much end it there. I mean, Bakugo number 1, kind of, it's funny when you think about it. He won the fight with Izuku in this chapter, and he's also number 1. That's pretty cool. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.